furious world leaders put the final dagger right into Donald Trump. They made him sign the Memorandum of Understanding in Versailles, and Donald Trump didn't even realize the significance where Germany in 1919 signed its humiliation Treaty of Versailles. It built in humiliation mechanisms and the symbolism that I think the world was doing, luring Donald Trump to Versailles to sign that document, I think was done intentionally. French President Emmanuel Macron told Donald Trump, hey, it's got a lot of gold, and Donald Trump got all excited. Donald Trump signed the MOU in Farsi. I mean, look at the White House video of what he signed. You'll see the text is in Farsi. But of course, we know that Donald Trump is fluent in Farsi. You see here Iran's President Pezeshkian holding up his countersigned document. And the furious world leaders knew exactly how to trap Donald Trump. Trump never looked weaker than he did at this G7. And one by one, as you would have Prime Minister Takaishi of Japan or this leader or that world leader, with Donald Trump, like, okay, Donald, looking like they're speaking to an adult, elderly individual in hospice care. And I'm trying to say that with a great degree of sensitivity. Here's what was going on behind the scenes. Iranian, Japanese foreign ministers meeting with each other. Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi meeting with Japanese Foreign Minister Motegi. They held a phone conference together. Iran had a phone call in the past 48 hours with his Turkish, Iraqi, and Egyptian counterpart. So while Donald Trump was saying, oh, El-Sisi, he's so handsome, and I went to his hotel room, and we stayed longer than I was supposed to stay with him, and I said, what a handsome and strong man you are. Behind the scenes, the world order has been shifting, and Donald Trump didn't even see it coming as he was signing the terms of a surrender at Versailles, and the world was saying, this is what we've wanted. America weaker than ever before, more multilateral relationships being formed. Remember how I've been talking about here, the mid-powers uniting to form new superpowers. As the United States, America alone. America first means America alone. And as Donald Trump tries to bully all of the Latin American countries in the Western Hemisphere, guess what? Latin American ambassadors all met. You know where they met in the past 48 hours? Yep. Foreign Minister Araghchi in Tehran. You want to know who Araghchi also spoke to? The foreign minister of Russia, Lavrov. You want to know what MB Ghalibaf, Iran's lead negotiator, posted? Iran's commitment to win-win cooperation underpinned by comprehensive strategic partnership with China is resolute. In my meeting with the Iran Chamber of Commerce, I emphasized the following. We are determined to translate our strategic consensus into pragmatic outcomes. And what he's basically saying as well, and this is why Foreign Minister Araghchi visited Xi Jinping and Wang Yi in China. The few days before Donald Trump did that trip, they were coordinating the shift of the global world order. America out, China in, more autonomy for Middle East countries. United States moves its bases out. That's what we call checkmate, folks, while Donald Trump is out there saying, what'd you want me to do? What else was I supposed to do? Bumbling, mumbling idiot exposed on the world stage. MB Ghalibaf also said the following about European world leaders. He said, it's interesting. You used to call us terrorists, so what do you want from the terrorists now? One by one, he said that foreign ministers and attachés from Europe have been driving their cars to Tehran to line up and meet with Foreign Minister Araghchi to try and make better relations right now with Iran. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, they're just putting Donald Trump on blast in public. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister, Prince Faisal bin Farhan, is like, yeah, we have no clue what Donald Trump is even talking about with this $300 billion fund to Iran. We think that Trump's just making this up. Here's what he had to say right here. Let's play this clip.
First of all, I have no details on this fund. I have no information or insight into the concept behind it, so I can't comment on it specifically.
Now, as I mentioned, Donald Trump, mumbling, fumbling idiot. Here's a video of Donald Trump walking into the G7 yesterday, and this was a clip that the White House only used 3 seconds of, and Donald Trump says, "I'm the boss," as he shows up to the G7. What the White House doesn't show, though, is Donald Trump showed up late. He arrived thinking that he was part of the South Korean delegation, and then he showed up late. He didn't know where he even was, and French President Emmanuel Macron is like, "Oh, Donald, nice of you to show up, Donald, over here." And then Donald Trump wanders around, lost, addled, cognitively declining, and Trump goes, "I am the boss. I am the boss." And we all know that Donald Trump's physical and cognitive health, was very, very, very hard to even watch over here. He would look awful. Here, play this clip right there.
Oh, hello, President. Hello, I'm the boss.
And Donald Trump, when he was on the tarmac, didn't even know that he told Prime Minister Carney that he likes that Canada is putting caps on Chinese EV imports during the hot mic moment. Remember when Prime Minister Carney went up to Donald Trump at that meeting and was like, "Donald, you're going to like this, Donald. You understand? China's going to send us EVs, Donald. Hard cap, 49,000 vehicles, Donald. 49,000. And Donald, and Carney knows he's bringing in Chinese EV. And this is how he's selling it to Trump. And here's what Trump said. Trump goes, "I don't know anything about it." Play this clip.
There was a hot mic moment at the G7 where the Canadian Prime Minister was talking to you about their Chinese car cap. And he said you like it. Can you comment on that?
I like what?
The cap that Canada put on Chinese car imports. You were talking about it with Carney.
Well,
what do you think of that?
I don't know that I said I like it, but I could understand that, yeah.
Is that a factor?
Cap? Would I rather see a cap than no cap? Yeah, I would. On Canada.
Would the U.S. ever consider allowing Chinese cars?
Well, we haven't. They pay over 100% tariff, so we don't have the problems that Europe has, or Canada.
How long do you...
You don't know anything about it. Let me share with everybody the moment where Carney told Donald Trump we're bringing Chinese electric vehicles into Canada. Play this clip. And here's just another angle of this as well. Let's play it. But as I noted, there's a broader situation happening. Trump signing the surrender at Versailles is a humiliation ritual that the world is putting the United States through right now. They're putting Trump through it, but by extension, the United States, and they're making him go through the 1919 Treaty of Versailles. Do we all see what they're doing? And French President Emmanuel Macron, "Donald, you want to come into Versailles?" And meanwhile, you have Prime Minister Carney. You have Ursula von der Leyen, who's the head of the European Union. They're talking right here. We've never been closer. You know what this reminds me of? You ever see the movie Sixth Sense? I don't want to ruin the ending, but when he sees dead people, it turns out that the main character is, well, if you've seen Sixth Sense, or have you seen Usual Suspects and Kaiser Sose at the end? It's all been working for this one moment, right? And to me, that moment, that Kaiser Sose moment, that Usual Suspect Kaiser Sose moment, that Sixth Sense moment where you realize that Bruce Willis was dead the whole movie, right? And the character was the whole plan came together with the world, and Trump signs the surrender document at Versailles reflecting back on the 1919 World War I surrender. They're signaling a new world order. Don't you see it? And here's what, this is the Kaiser Soze moment. Prime Minister Carney, Ursula von der Leyen, the new mid-powers unite. Here, play this clip.
Yes. From that side, indeed, we are an ocean apart, but we have never been closer than now. This is wonderful, and it's perfect that you're joining Ocean Eye. Thank you very much. This is a fascinating instrument to have the surveillance of our oceans and the development to see how things are. So thank you very much for joining. And indeed, we have a good agenda ahead of us. We will be working on a digital trade agreement. We'll be working on critical raw materials. We'll be discussing the topic of energy, certainly. And we are very proud also that you are, as only non-European country, member of SAFE, and that this first joint procurement with the European member state now is happening. So all good signs and a packed agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
And just so you even see how they're talking about it in Canada, this is former Deputy Prime Minister John Manley. Here's what he had to say. Let's play it.
We used to always refer to the President of the United States as the leader of the free world. Donald Trump is not the leader of anything other than about the 37% of Americans that still support him. He's not the leader of the free world, certainly not the leader of any other country. If anything, intellectually at least, Mark Carney has become the leader of the free world, the countries that believe in democracy and the rule of law. And I think it's going to be important for him to build on those relationships, both out of Canada's geopolitical interests as well as Canada's economic interests.
And then you have Luna, the president of Brazil, strongly saying in his press conference, Donald Trump doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. He likes to talk. So we got to be very clear. Let's play this clip.
We're making an agreement with Mauro Vieira, and my Minister of Commerce is dealing with his Minister of Commerce. We are negotiating. I handed him a document on organized crime to show that our federal police is prepared to face organized crime. I told him if he wants to fight organized crime, Brazil is very willing. Even telling him that they are the ones who export smuggled weapons to Brazil. All the weapons that the federal police seizes in Brazil come from Miami. And that the state of Delaware in the United States launders money for Brazilian criminals. I handed it to him in writing because I don't want to just talk. Because President Trump, he talks a lot and listens little. So I made sure to hand it to him in writing what we want to fight organized crime.
And then in Brazil, they're making it very clear too. Stay the hell out. Play it.
Well, either I'm first or I'm second. Even when it was zero, they were the government. I was first. So look, I think that he has the right to have his electoral preferences, his ideological preferences. I only hope that he doesn't violate the code of ethics between nations that want to be respected in their sovereignty. I only hope that. For me, he can continue to like Bolsonaro, the father, the son, the grandson. There's no problem. It's his problem. After all, there's no accounting for taste. Now, don't meddle in Brazil's elections, because Brazil's elections are Brazil's problem. Just as the American elections are their problem, not my problem. So the only thing I want is respect for Brazil, which I have for the United States. Just that.
You want to know what else they're talking about on Saudi Arabia? America has suffered a great defeat. Let's play it.
And so, in my view, the Americans have suffered a great humiliation and a great defeat, and they've only empowered Iran and its allied enemies.
And then they're also saying on Saudi Arabia, Al Arabia, Trump's threats are all empty bluster. Let's play it.
I don't think that we should really be concerned too much about that threat from Donald Trump. I think he's become known for empty bluster over the past few weeks of this war, and this seems to be more of the same.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching. Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com.
You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.